Long time no see. So, I just wanted to do a little bit of cool down sculpting since I haven't done enough sculpting today, you know. But I actually wanted to work on something, kind of self-prompted. I want to go through and put hands on one of my other characters. Because I mean, at the moment, this is kind of what he's looking like. He's kind of stuck at this spot and he doesn't have his hands. So we kind of want to just put that on there, you know? Otherwise, he can't really hand out ice cream. So what I'm going to do, grab these arms, say subtool, and we'll say insert. Did you guys get to watch the live stream today? It's pretty insane. I don't have a bunch of people on right now, but you know, it was insane. It was intense. Okay, good. So I need to make sure I had symmetry on. Okay. So for these hands, okay, first off I need to take them up into position. This is not going to work. It's so funny to see like these weird chunky little hands here. Let's turn on local symmetry. Okay. Looks like I missed a piece. Starting to look a little bit better. Now, I'm curious actually. I've started off with the character already. But I am curious. It might be more fun to go through and do something political and celebratory of the Biden victory. This is something that I have been exceptionally needing, you know, is for the the Trump reign to end. But maybe I'll just leave that for my own time off of the stream. Play with the shapes of these fingers some. They're a little bit too narrow, so you know, let's kind of play with how far out they come. But we'll also play with the shape. So maybe what we'll do, sorry, it's a little bit rude. Let's go ahead and move this over so that we're working with an appropriate finger to have as it's, you know, on its own. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to use my clay brush and kind of start blocking in different knuckles. Start really pushing and pulling these different shapes, these main features. might be kicking it up a little bit. Let's turn on solo mode. Okay, so one of the things that I'm trying to think about are some of the shapes that I've seen. Some of the shapes that I've seen in other characters' hands that I've liked, and reason why those hands and those shapes worked. So one of the things I want to think about, I need to make sure that I'm checking from all sorts of different angles, just like you would with any other section of the body. As you can see, like I'm getting some weird form inconsistencies here. So by coming down and just, controlling this, I'm able to really keep track of my design and keep a handle on my design. A handle. Something like that for right now is kind of cool. I'm just going to kind of go to the edge of this knuckle, kind of build that ridge out, keep it nice and controlled. But what I might do is take this, give it a little bit of like a bump. Sometimes you'll get like a kind of a rolled knuckle is what I'll call it. A bit of like an extra kind of roll coming out the top. Oh shoot. Let's get the right brush for this. Turn off RGB. I don't need RGB on for that. There is a finger. Now, I can go through, I'm going to reuse this same finger to create the other fingers. I just want to make sure that all the forms are about right, that they look good. This little section right here is maybe coming out a little bit too far. This little section right here might be coming out a little bit too far. Alright, that's looking good. That is looking good. Control, click, and drag. Rotate it. Scale it up slightly. And you just lengthen it out a little bit, Make it nice. Make it pretty. Control, click, and drag again. Scale it back down. Okay, so you can see kind of where this is going. Kind of want to space it out just a little bit further on this one, and maybe a little bit less on this one. Let's see. Yeah, so what I need to do is kind of rotate it and pull it in a little bit. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. Scale it down just a little bit further. And then for this pinky, we're going to scale it way down. But we want to definitely control different rotation for this pinky. And we might even go in here and take this pinky, make it a little bit slightly different with the proportions. it just kind of helps to really sell the size of it. All right. So far, that's what we're getting. Now, the hand itself, I'm also going to want to kind of push the style of the hand, and I may actually want to take the stylization of this model a little bit further. I think that it's a little bit plain. I feel more like monkey hands. They're kind of weird. I need to get rid of these thumbs because it's not working for me. Let's hit delete hidden. We'll grab these. Control Shift A, Control W. Let's grab that finger. Pull this out, rotate it. So one of the best resources you have for hands exists on your own arm. You know, it's nice to be able to reference something that you always have handy. So yeah, I always try to look at my own hands and think about, you know, proportions and shapes and things like that as I'm sculpting. It's just helpful. Kind of pull this out to modify shapes a little bit because the thumb's just slightly different from the rest of the digits. The rest of the digits. Let's go through Control W, Control W, Control W. So now we got different polygroups for each of these digits. And that'll be super, super helpful. Okay, so what I want to do, let's go ahead and start adding in some cool to these knuckles. And I want to also be thinking about, maybe I'll use the standard brush instead, because I think that'll be a little bit better. Just to be able to get these spaces between these metacarpals. So yeah, I'll go through and do something like that. Sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to just sit back and just sculpt. The competition earlier was insane. I was a bit nervous, mostly just because I know that my internet is absolute garbage. One of the cool things though is that I have it connected to the Ethernet rather than the Wi-Fi. Whatever wireless router they gave us is just absolute garbage. I think I get more dropped signals than AT&T, you know. I'm just going to kind of block in some of these muscle pads on the bottom here. Change up the proportions just a little bit. Just gonna pull that in, something like that. Now, I do tap on these keys rather quickly sometimes, but the keyboard is garbage too, and it's just um, there are things that I really like about the computer that I have. One of the things that I do not like about it is the keyboard. I don't like how clickety clackety it is, which is not a total deal breaker for me. Um, some people actually really like that. Some people really like when they pound on those keys to have the keys kind of talk to them. I don't. I super do not. I'm gonna kind of pull these a little bit together. And then here in a minute, we'll go ahead and we'll kind of play with the actual design of these bass knuckles, because right now they feel really kind of blocky, or not kind of blocky. They feel kind of blobby is the word that I was going to go for. So yeah, right now it's kind of more about just getting different landmarks in here, and this might be like way too. Yeah, it's way too detailed. It doesn't really quite work. Whole world of different keyboard switches out there. And then recently more than blue, red, brown, LOL. Keyboard switches. What are you referring to as keyboard switches, Jan? Aloha! Hairy mandibles. I swear, that's probably one of the funnest usernames I've ever heard. Besides smartest, of course. It's like I'm just imagining somebody with a big, massive beard. Do you have a beard? I did survive the sculpt off. In fact, I. Oh, interesting. You don't have a beard? Man. Yeah, so I did survive, and I actually came back and decided I needed a little bit more. No, I just decided I kind of wanted to keep pushing personal projects, do some cool down. There's a lot of stress involved with the sculpt off, and I was mostly just worried that my internet would give out, and that it would be spotty, and that it would not survive, all the streaming and whatnot. Uh, but it did, and I was grateful. So I figured before I go ahead and tackle the dishes and hit the sack for the night, I figured I'd just and put everything else back. I mean, my wife is my total hero in every way, really. But one of the things that she did is she took the kids with her to her parents' house just so that I could have space to be able to stream, and it was incredible. I mean, I really lucked out. Really lucked out, guys. And I count myself lucky every day, but it's super neat that that she's as supportive as she is, even with as troubling as times are. She is her own superhero. She's my superhero. Okay, so is there a way to change that, like without having to take it to a shop, Jan? Um, yeah, pulling double duty Spicer. Yeah, it's fun. I just kind of just trying to like cool down after a. It's been a day. It's been a week. it's a crazy world we're living in. I just needed to kind of have fun. Yeah, Jan. So key switches equals different types of pressure, so it'll determine the clickety clackety of one versus another. So is that something that you have to like remove the key to be able to adjust, or is it something um, that you can, is it like a yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to ask the question. Um, but is that something that you can adjust? Because if it is, that's something I think. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted. That's something that I probably want to try to play with. Because I know that there are some nights where I have to be up working on something, and my wife is trying to sleep, 7 feet away from me. But uh, so you're saying maybe I just so you're saying essentially I probably can't do it with my laptop one. That's not a big deal. I mean, I'll survive, I'm sure. Um, okay, those fingers are definitely like, well, like the hand shape and everything is not quite right either. Lots of things kind of to fix about this, but it's a little bit better. One of the things I want to tackle, let's kind of pull this out. I'm just trying to like even out the fingers across the new width. Okay. I'll have to go through and do another version of the hands where I kind of like stylize them a little bit more and kind of control the planes and make it more like what I have for the face, but we'll see. Which so you had did you submit for the sculpt off mandibles? Maybe I'll call you Harry. Can I call you Harry? Which one was yours? What did you submit for the sculpt off? 'Cause I know that Spicer, who's on YouTube right now, um, he submitted some sort of, it was like a Frankensteiny sort of like like brain in a jar sort of character. Steampunk golem, like golem, like the character from Lord of the Rings. So I did see a character kind of like that on the submissions. That was kind of fun. Um, or was it kind of like a golem, like a monster made out of mud sort of thing? Oh, like a robot. Okay. Yeah, so it'd be like the mud made monster, but like robot instead of mud, right? Is that kind of the idea of that? Yeah, Spicer. Yeah, Spicer's over on YouTube. He usually jumps in and he's always like super awesome support and everything. He's great. Lava lamp. I love. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny when you guys were like chatting up the. I love desk. I love lamp over there on the. What's that? Dang it! What's the? Not, it's not Discord. Slack, on the Slack. Yeah, let's kind of pull this in. Okay, trying to work out this shape over here. So let's go over here. We'll kind of pull this out. It's really strong. It's way too much. Yeah, let's try that for now. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this version of the hands, Control Shift D, and then let's turn off that version. We're going to grab this one, and we're going to, let's call it hands 2. Call this one hands. Okay, so hands 2. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take this model, and we're going to work on really pushing kind of the shape language. Okay, so getting something that's specifically very, very blocky. So let's try that. Geometry, delete hidden. Grab one finger, work on the one finger, and then we'll work on the rest, right? Am I right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. I'm here doing my my sculpting. So what was everybody's favorite sculpt from the sculpt off that you guys got to see? Have you guys gone and checked it out at all? So a couple of my favorites that I saw. I love Ashley Adams. Her sculpt was amazing. You have to check it out. She had like this cool spider thing with like a hand puppet above it. Oh my gosh, so freaking cool. And then let me see. Oh, Oscar. Oh gosh, what's his name? He's also another ZBrush Live streamer. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. He did this like mechanical wind up dodo bird, and it was just brilliant. It was so good. It was so good. And then there's this jellyfish. Those are like my top 3 picks from what I saw. Trejo, thanks Spicer. Yeah, that was him. Absolutely brilliant. That was such a good piece. Let's solo this out so that I can hit Control W on this so I can get the whole piece to be its own polygroup rather than having that cap be something different. Okay, let me see. Let's get this. Let's turn on lazy mouse just because I'm feeling a little lazy. I'm just kidding. It's not what it's for. Oh, Sadan? Yeah, Sadan's piece. I got to see it partway through. Yeah, he's not demonic. He's a good guy. Try not to, yeah, autocorrect for the win. That's so terrible. Autocorrect. It's like that's one of the hard things though, is that sometimes you just never know with people's names. You know, there's so many super unique names out there, and especially in this community, where it's like you're dealing with people all over the world, and it's like, you know, if your name comes from somewhere unique, you know, if it's Arabic um, or if it's Armenian, or if it's Egyptian, or if it's, you know, whatever it is, Russian, I don't know. Like certain names just won't be picked up, you know? And so you end up going into this sort of thing, and having to fight the autocorrect to try to get, yeah, anyway, it's just kind of funny. Makes me giggle. I started this thing on the restream, where it'll go through and it'll like automatically post my, like, a link to my Instagram or something like that. Um, just so that I, you know, in case somebody jumps in, and you know, somebody gets curious, it's like, oh, that's how I can find you on Instagram. That's great. Okay, cool. Thought about making other ones where it's like, you know, there we go. Other ones where it's more like, you know, putting over to, I don't know, putting over to other sites, putting over to other channels, putting over to other stuff. Believe it or not, I'm actually kind of everywhere. Hey, and it's kind of fun when you misspell things as a word, and they that are spelled correctly. Yeah, I hate it when that happens though. It does it to me all the freaking time, and and so I end up having to go back and fix it, and then it changes it again. And I have to go back and fix it. You know, it's just it's just like, just pay attention. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You make this the way I make this, not the way you want to make this. Make it a little bit bigger. Push it into place. Invert the mask. It sounds like the air doctor's trying to get something going out of the air. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm tired. It's like, it's totally time to just hit the hay. In fact, instead of using that one, let's just grab this one, bring it over, and that way we can just keep it the same. Let's take this, kind of rotate it a little bit so that it's following the form of the hand. The hand is actually not like super straight across. It has a little bit more of like a bend to it, and if you look at it from the top down, it also has a little bit of an arc. So noticing those sorts of things are going to help your hands to feel a little bit more solid. You can see I'm getting like that arc going in here, and I've got like the fingers, the knuckles don't go straight across. It's like it's got this little bit of an arc to it. Um, So that's something I try to keep my eyes on. It's something that I try to be very intentional about, because it's going to help the hands to feel more solid, more controlled. Bring this. In fact, maybe instead of like control, let's just keep it there for now. Let's grab the move tool with the transpose. Just pull that back a little bit, and then control drag that out. We will shrink that bad boy down. Little known fact, the pinky is always a bad boy. That little piggy went wee wee wee. Okay, I'm gonna grab that, just kind of arc it up a little bit. Grab that, arc it up a little bit. Grab that, knuckle pull it up some. Okay. It's probably still like way too much, but it might be enough for me to just be able to keep track. Makes you not want to try this ever for a living. It's not really too bad. It's really quite fun and I really enjoy it. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out what it is that you want. But yeah, it can be tedious. It can be, but it's also one of those things that just can be relaxing if you don't let it stress you. I've been hearing that watch all day, and it's funny because it was actually quite helpful. So it's my daughter's watch, and it's been down here in the living room area, for who knows how long. I don't know if she knows even where it is. Yeah, she'll probably wear it more as she like really nails down how to tell time, things like that. Um, Hopefully, anyway. I mean, that's kind of why we've gotten it for her, so that she could. But let's do something more like that. That looks better. Okay, now I mean the shapes are a little bit intense, but maybe I'll go ahead and work on those after I get topology in there, and that'll help to kind of keep the landmarks defined for now. My goodness, let's see. Alright. Something like that. For now. Until I get sick of it, right? Alright. And with this particular character, we'll never actually see the feet, so it's not going to be a big deal. But, I mean, eventually we'll go through and we'll model out the feet. With this little guy, I want to take... Okay, let's go ahead. Let's come over here to in nanobots. I'm going to go to the logo, nanobots logo 2. Okay. Turn off local symmetry. I don't need local symmetry on. Let's grab this. I want to say brush, create. I'm going to say create insert mesh brush. In fact, one of the things I want to try, I'm going to go ahead and Control Shift D. Just going to pull this down to the bottom. I want to see if I can get some good topology out of this. Because this is a nightmare. This is an absolute wreck. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to say geometry, Z-remesher. I'm going to turn off adapt. I'm going to turn on keep groups, detect edges. You know what? Maybe just, we'll try keep creases. Maybe keep groups too. We'll just try it. We'll play around and we'll experiment with it. Ooh, that did not look good. Let's turn off keep groups. Just kind of testing a couple different things. That is so much better. Look at that. It's not perfect, but it's so much better. Okay, I am going to say yeah, actually I think I did use a vector. I went ahead and I created the illustration inside of Illustrator, you know, based off of a sketch that I had done. So I took the sketch into Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, traced out my logo in vector, and then I brought the SVG over here into ZBrush. And let's see, I'm gonna pull in all these resolutions here. Okay, we're losing some creasing here, so let's go ahead and boost this up. Say Control D another couple of times, delete lower. Okay, so now I've got, yeah, it's still ugly surfaces through here, but hopefully I'm gonna play with this a little bit and see, because the Z-remesher really is quite fantastic. It's just going through and figuring out kind of how you want the settings to be to get the shapes the way you need them. It's gonna be a little bit while longer since I have the resolution up significantly higher. Now it's gonna go super slow. And you know what? I didn't even save that other character, so hopefully ZBrush does not crash. It looks like it's still kind of inching along. But yeah. Let's see. Most things people do for a living seems like it would have some element of tedium. This at least has an endless stream of possibilities to be solved. Yeah, it's true. Is that kind of junky geometry you get decent enough to print with? Yes. Yes, in fact, let me go grab a piece that I printed with it. Oh, yes! Yes, that'll work. I can clean that up. But give me just a minute. Okay, so to be able to show you, the piece that I printed is this piece, and you can see exactly like how miserable the topology is. I mean, it's enough to hold the shape, but it's a super miserable type of geometry. I mean, look at that, and that's just super messy, right? The thing that the printer cares about is that the geometry is solid and that it is watertight. Okay, so this is watertight geometry, and it works really well for printing or CNC or any other sort of making method. So here's the piece as it came out. It's kind of, yeah, let me put a light on it. Yeah, there we go. So you can see kind of like, I mean, you can see like Yeah, it turned out beautifully. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Um, what settings did you adjust to get that result? I've tried working with designs I did in Illustrator and abandoned them when I saw the results somewhat new to 3D. Yeah, it's just kind of playing with some of the settings in here. So this here we go. So in order to get this, which worked out really pretty nicely. Dang, I'm still just like in awe about that. This backside did not turn out nearly as well, but that's okay. I'm going to probably delete the back half anyway. Um, this right here is a little bit messy. You can see we've got an extra little face in there, but that's okay. We'll fix that too. I just wanted something to be able to put like my logo on his shoes. um, yeah, so the things that you want to kind of go through and play with are things like looking at making sure that we have. So for instance, we have the Z remesh. We have the keep groups, the freeze groups, the keep creases, the detect edges. So these sorts of things are going to be important to. Is that an Ashley? Oh my goodness. I was bragging about your spider earlier. I was like, good grief, that girl can sculpt. Uh, I envy you, Dart. Yep. So cool. It's like you're one of those creative powerhouses that just does. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you. Yeah, I had so much fun with it, and I would totally do it again in a heartbeat. Um, Especially since there were a couple of things that I totally neglected to do. No, but yeah. So just lots of fun, lots and lots of fun. So yeah, I would play around when you're working with these sorts of pieces. You do want to kind of play around and experiment with the smooth groups. I usually just kind of leave things as default as I can. Thanks, Victor. That's really nice of you. That was so fun. Yeah, the hand was. I'm so glad that turned out kind of all right because that was so hard. uh, your hand turned out better though, so I'll totally concede to you on that one. Oh, come on! I thought I hit the move topological. I guess I didn't. Um, yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's kind of smooth that out. I just kind of want to make sure that it has like fairly decent-ish topology. Let's go ahead, grab that. Control Shift X. You know what? I think that belongs to this side. So let's go ahead. I'm going to say, let's grab this, smooth that out. I think that's the only spot that I was seeing this problem happening, so wish me luck that fixed everything. Let's see. It looks like we have a little bit of issue right here too that we can kind of fix up a little bit. So let's see. Just kind of collapse that down. There we go. There we go. It looks like I have some sort of extra face right here, and that's irritating. Yeah, you can see like there's that extra little face just right there. So here's what I'm going to do to be able to fix that. In fact, that didn't undo anything I just did, right? It's good. Okay. Come over here. Okay, so now you can see I've got just that little sliver showing. Invert it, modify topology, delete hidden, and now I've got that clean flow in there. Okay, so now we can go ahead and say chip chip jettio. Let's get that, invert it, Control Shift X, Control A. No, it needs to be up a little higher. In fact, here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead, grab that, Control W, just to make sure that that's the same polygroup. Grab it. Okay, good. Okay, and then we can just Control click and drag, and that'll get me the shape going back that I need, you know. So, oh, Victor, you did the Chihuahua, dude. I think I saw that one. I think I saw that one. The pinky's kind of crunchy. Yeah, yeah. Crunchy pinkies are always the best. Control Shift X. Okay, you know what? There's that extra loop in there. I'll worry about that in a second. Delete hidden. We'll say insert single edge loop. Get rid of that. And then let's use that. You have a couple different ways that you can go ahead and clip things down. I'm just going to use the clip curve other way though. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we got a piece. Okay, so what I want to do is I want this to be, here, let's do this too. We'll say crease PG. Oh, and that's not even giving me the crease around the edges there either. So let's see, I got a few things I got to do. Let's go ahead and we'll say extrude poly loop. Okay, good. Say slide edge loop partial. Just kind of bring this down a little bit just to make sure we're getting that bevel on the inside of that. But now the thing that I want to make sure of is I want to make sure that I'm getting the creasing here. So we'll get edge loop partial here. Get that edge loop partial there. And get that one there. So now I think we've got it. So now that'll be good. What I wanted to do this for, the reason I wanted this is to be able to take it and turn it into an insert mesh brush. That's all I really wanted with this. So let me try something real quick. Deformation, and I'm totally like. that's weird. That's really weird, actually. Yeah, I won't do that. That's a little bit different. So we'll just take it like it is. We'll come down here, maybe clip that to there, just so that we have a little bit less. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, that's going to have to go. Okay, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to say insert single edge loop. And then we'll just take this, we'll say extrude poly loop. Okay, great. So now you can just hold shift and kind of pull that out. And we'll go ahead and we'll crease this. This will make sure that we don't get that extra edge along the or that extra area of faces around the inside. And now I just want to go through and make sure that I get different polygroups through here. And Control W there. Control poly. This way we have, you know, different poly groups, so we can go ahead and we can say crease PG, and that'll keep all of our crisp edges. All right, let's go ahead and bring this crisp level down to like 2 or 1. See what 1 looks like. It's holding the shape and it's giving me a good little edge there, so that'll be good. We'll just say that. And then let's go ahead and make it a brush. Say brush, create insert mesh, new, a nanobots logo. I don't know what the full name of that is, so we just won't worry about it. Okay, and now let's come down here and we'll add the logo to the sandals. So you can see how it's like it's drawing it out, and what's interesting is that it's keeping it really flat. I don't want it to stay super flat, and I don't want it to be in that color either. I want it to be probably white, maybe just off-white, maybe more yellow, something like that. We'll say with our brush, what we want to do is we want to come down to our modifiers, and there's this option called projection strength, and this is super helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my brush about the size that I want the thing to be. I'm going to start clicking out and dragging. I'm going to hold control. So here's the issue. If I hit shift D, you can see my it is projecting directly to the shape of the model, but it's definitely not the resolution that I want. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and hit Control D just once. I'll hit delete lower, and that'll work probably well enough. With the brush, I'm going to take the embed and turn that to 0. Let's try this again. So you can see, I mean, it's still getting like a bunch of that, the bending from the faceting. I don't want it to have a whole bunch of bending from the faceting, so let's give it one more subdivision level here. Say delete lower. And there we go. So now if I wanted to, I mean, I could go through and redo it and just kind of have it embed a little bit further. Maybe that's what we do. Kind of give it like a negative value in the embed. See where we can place it where it feels good. I like that. I'll probably go ahead and put it onto his jersey too, you know? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say underneath clothing, I want to say split unmasked, just so I can have that logo separate. Okay. I actually want to save this brush, so let's say brush, save as, in nanobot logo. Yeah, we'll just call it that. Okay, so now that we have that separate, we can go ahead. We can just use our undo history on these sandals, and then it holds the shape. I might actually want to have it be one subdivision up. Let's turn off dynamic. A ver qué pasó. Oh crap. Oh, you see what happened there? I had the wrong thing. I had the wrong thing visible. Or the wrong thing selected when I didn't realize that I had that on there. So let's go ahead and say geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Let's go ahead and select this. We'll say delete hidden. And then we'll go ahead and draw it out. It looks like it's trying to project through to the other side. So maybe what we do is we just go ahead and we just keep this, hit delete hidden. There we go. So now it's nice and clean on the inside. Delete hidden. And so now I have the logo, and the logo is nicely curved, okay, to be able to fit the sandal. And then with the sandal, what I want to do is, since we added a resolution, a subdivision to be able to make it so that it was a little bit smoother, I'm going to go ahead and kind of tweak up these corners where it loses the definition and the smoothness from the original model. Okay, so we just want to control these points wherever the creases end, so that we can control the shape and keep it nice and clean. Okay, geometry. I'm going to say delete lower just because I don't feel like I super need them to be any lower resolution than this. I feel like having it this resolution will be helpful in essentially, making it so that it just kind of holds its shape a little bit better. And honestly, like, this resolution is probably the lowest I'm going to want for this type of asset anyway. I do think that I want to get rid of this extra little loop there in the middle, which means that there's also extra loop up here. Let's turn off the solo. Let's get rid of that loop too. Which means there's probably some on the bottom that I want to get rid of. Okay, there we go. All right. So now that is essentially just the steps to making those things work. Okay. It's getting kind of late. I recognize it's not as late in Los Angeles as it is in some parts of the world, like, you know, Montreal or other areas of the Canadian persuasion. Or anywhere else in the world, really. But I am worn out. And I've got things to do tomorrow too, so I'm going to hit save. And one of the things that I will probably do, let's go back here, go to the right folder, Kai 4. You don't need no sound. Hard surface or polygon mode in ZBrush is kind of hard, at least for me. It's more easy to use. Use Maya. Yeah. ZModeler is it's tricky to learn, but it's super handy. I better go through and save this too, just so I don't lose it. Oh, for the sculpt off, I had a couple of buddies here to keep me company. I had my little baby Yoda. Oh, here I better put on my light so you guys can see a little bit better. Yeah, so I have baby Yoda. This is a demo that I did for Imagineering in Orlando. They flew me out to teach some classes there to the people at Imagineering in Disney World. So that was kind of fun. And then I had baby shark. I'll have to do a post, kind of show you guys some good up close pictures. But yeah, my little baby shark sculpt. And then I also had picture of my family. Just because, you know, you got to keep your sight on what you do it for, right? Anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out for a little bit. I know it wasn't a super long stream, but it was helpful to me, you know, be able to go ahead and get this going and get some further progress. In fact, now that I'm thinking about progress, I can't just not do it. I just can't. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's kind of just move this over so it's a little bit more centered in that direction. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift D. Let's hit solo. Delete hidden. Delete hidden. I keep seeing this little break in the wall, and I keep thinking that it's like some bug, like some roach or spider or something. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna say bevel edge loop complete. Trying to decide if I like how that will look. Let's go ahead, MRGB, color, fill object. Yeah, I say that's probably going to be cool. I mean, either way, if we decide we don't like it later on, we can just get rid of it. Not a big deal. All polygons, hold shift to push it down, and then we'll just pull it on out. So what I want to do, I'm going to say crease, something like that, so that way it keeps all the corners nice and tight. And there we go. It's a little bit too strong, so maybe what we do is we'll just kind of take this down to 1. And in fact, we might need to go through and actually push this into his sandal a bit more. I want it to feel a little bit more embedded. If I like how this looks, I'll model it into the actual sandal. You know, possibly, I guess. Maybe not. Could be nice to just have the possibility rather than actually going through and doing it, but you know. Yeah, ZModeler is awesome. I love ZModeler, so I recommend it. Anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out. I'm gonna hit the hay now. Thanks for everything, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Make sure to check in on the ZBrush Summit over the next 3 days. Remember, there's some sort of giveaway. They're giving away thousands of dollars worth of awesome stuff. At least that's Paul Gabry's words. Okay, I actually don't know what they're giving away yet. So, but it's likely that they're giving away like licenses, licenses to ZBrush, licenses to Keyshot, different things like that. They're probably giving away things like that 3D mouse thing that they were showing earlier. Yeah, some cool stuff. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you sign up. Make sure that you watch, have fun, chat with people. Tune in on the Discord. You know, have a good time. Figure out what it is that you want to watch, what you want to get out of it, and be active. Yeah. So I'll see you around.